Chris Braswell.
First off, congrats to Jim and his team. You know, I said it the other day, I think yesterday, I don't think people realize how difficult it is to do what he's done in St. Louis this year. You know, hopefully for his part he'll be rewarded, you know, with the removal of that famous interim title, I guess. But it's a very difficult situation, and what he's done this year has been tremendous. So credit to those guys, and I thought they came out and did a good job of just disrupting us. We weren't quite ourselves today. You know, we're a team that when we defend and score off our defense, you know, execute in half court, and I thought the best thing St. Louis did was just disrupt us a little bit and got us out of character, especially early in the game with, you know, taking care of the basketball. So just want to give those guys a lot of credit and wish them the best moving forward.
All right, questions for Chris Braswell? David.
Braz, can you just talk about the turnovers, so what they were doing to disrupt you guys? Every time you made a run of something, they managed to start knocking it out and making another run.
You know, they was just speeding us up. We was just rushing, you know, trying to make home run passes, and you know, they were in help, and they got them steals. So they was just speeding us up.
Chris, can you talk about their interior play? They really kind of frustrate you guys with those entry passes, and can you just talk a little bit about defending those and what trouble it gave you?
It didn't really give us too much trouble. I mean, in practice, you know, we was working on that. You know, walkthrough, we was working on that. So we was just trying to make the right passes and the easy passes. But at times, you know, they disrupted us, and you know, like I said before, you know, they was in their help, you know, where they were supposed to be at. They was getting them steals and, you know, reading our eyes where we was passing the ball.
Anybody else for Chris?
You hit, I think, a 3 to cut it to 19-16. You're right there, and then I think in a span of 2 minutes you're down 16. Just take us through that span. It just kind of feel like a blur at that point.
You know, once I hit that, you know, I was just trying to, you know, help my team and, you know, keep my team rolling. Once I hit that three, you know, to stay in the game, you know, keep everybody together as a team and keep pushing. And we kind of fell away from that. You know, like Coach Major said, you know, we wasn't our team. We wasn't a team thing today. So, you know, we kind of fell away from that.
All right, anybody else for Chris? All right, thanks, Chris. Thank you. All right, questions for Coach Major?
Coach, do you have an update on Perrier, how he's doing, and kind of take us through what happened there?
I haven't heard anything yet. I'm very, very concerned, to be quite honest with you. You know, the guy has a tough time breathing. I'm not quite sure what that means. So we're trying to organize the guys, the whole team. Is going to go to the hospital wherever he's at. As a team, they said in the locker room they want to be with him. So hopefully he's okay. But once this wraps up, we'll go find out. But you know, when they went to the monitor, they said it wasn't anything flagrant. It was almost like an incidental thing. So hopefully he'll be fine. I guess I'm really more pleased that you have the type of team that wants to go be with the teammate together.
So they did take him directly to the hospital?
Perry went during the game. Yeah. So we're hoping we can get out. You know, the whole team said in the locker room, Coach, can the bus take us to go visit him?
Excuse me, we can't answer too many questions because of HIPAA on this and the purpose.
Oh, for privacy, I'm sorry.
So I just want to make sure we don't step out our bounds here.
From that point, we can't. Coach Major can't answer any questions regarding exactly what his status is or what the injury is.
Yeah, and I don't know anyway, so that probably helps.
Coach, being here in the major metropolitan, from the Queen City, North Carolina, and also coming here to the Mecca, the New York metropolitan area, how important is that from a recruiting and exposure standpoint for your team?
Well, I think after yesterday we got more exposure than we planned based on the way the game ended. But with us changing leagues, I don't know, we'll probably still recruit up this way some. You know, obviously being in the A-10, it makes a lot more sense to recruit up in the East Coast, you know, New York, New Jersey, Philly. But moving a little bit farther south in the Conference USA next year. But still, I mean, there's some kids up here, I'm sure, that like warm weather. So I wouldn't count us out as far as coming up here in the future and trying to recruit some kids. Mm-hmm.
Coach, can you talk about the decision early in the game to switch to the 3-2 zone, or on what it did for you, what it didn't do for you?
Well, I thought it slowed them down a little bit. You know, they're a heavy pick and roll team, and you know, we just thought we maybe could disrupt their rhythm. You know, even though it was 11-point deficit at halftime. You know, at one point it was 32-16, and you go into halftime, it's 39-28. So technically, we won that last 8 to 9 minutes of the first half, 12-7, which is a positive. And then they finished 5 of 23 from the field, from 3 rather, which you feel like if you could do that, you hold a team at 38% field goal percentage and you win the war on the boards. But Braz made a good point. I thought, you know, they just got us a little bit out of character in terms of some of our decision making, and that was the difference in the game. I thought was just the conversion points that they got off our turnover.
Coach, a little bit more quiet today than yesterday, but all in all, a real solid couple of days for Perrier and Willie. Just talk about what it's going to be like to have those two guys the next 2 years, Willie for 3. Seems like a solid couple of guys to build around.
Yeah, very excited. I mean, you know, Braz is really the one senior we have that plays, you know, I guess impactful minutes. Everybody else is a freshman or sophomore. So, you know, to have 2 guys like that, and I think you got 2 guys that have the potential to be future either leaders or captains as well, just because of the type of people that they are. Obviously, they're terrific players, and both of them were all-conference guys, you know, in terms of getting some honors. But if you're around Perrier and Willie every single day, you would love them all more.
Coach, could you talk about Nickerson being very aggressive on shots early in the game? He went 1 for 5. Did you think you had a mismatch?
A little bit, you know, but I think Vic, you felt like St. Louis is very good. Like they can create an illusion with their defense of, you know, it's almost like a running back that thinks he's got a seam, and all of a sudden here come 2 linebackers that kind of meet you in the gap, you know. So at times, you know, there'll be drives that look pretty good, and then once you get there, they close things down pretty well. I mean, that's what top 10, top 15 teams in the country do defensively. So, no, I'm not blaming Vic at all for anything. I thought he showed some aggression. You know, if he makes 2 or 3 of those, nobody says a word. So, you know, I think that's just part of the game.
Yeah. Alan, can you talk about turnovers? Just they kind of kept mounting, and where they came from, some forced, some weren't so forced.
Yeah, probably a little bit of both. That's probably the best way to put it. I think you know, when ones aren't forced, there are ones where you think you may see something and that's there and it's not quite there. A lot of it just comes from maybe testing their defense for 2 or 3 more passes. And so, you know, I thought early on, especially when the team gets off to the start they did, it makes you feel like you got to do something quicker than you need to. So, and they do a great job. I mean, they sit on a lot of things, they deny a lot. And you got 7 guys back from a Sweet 16 team. They're battle tested.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about just not being able to put together consecutive offensive possessions through the first 4 minutes of the second half? Both teams only scored 2 points. You guys had some chances.